Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World. And one of the things that I've noticed quite a bit in my comment section is that a lot of you guys are saying, Rurikhan, these builds are great and all, but on the PC we still don't have access to a lot of these armor pieces that you got going here. It'd be great if you could just do a couple of PC-friendly builds. And I gotta be honest, a lot of my older builds are probably going to be PC-friendly, but since then, I've also learned a lot more about the game, so therefore, I would probably do a couple of those builds differently. And to that regard, I figured, you know what, let's do a video, and let me give you guys 3 builds for the PC. I'm gonna be giving you guys builds for Gunlance, Switch Axe, and Charge Blade. And if this video does well, I'll be doing a couple of more PC-friendly builds in the future because it is harder for me to do PC-friendly builds because my brain is just formatted for all these great gamma armor sets that we already have. And I'm not trying to make you guys jealous, I'm just telling guys it is a little bit harder for me to think in terms of like older gear, you know, that's what I'm getting at. But anyways, having said that, let's get started with the Gunlance now. This particular build is going to be a full burst build. That means that you're going to need to use a Gunlance that uses normal shelling. Preferably, you're going to be looking at the Royal Burst, which early on in the game is hands down, like not even a competition, hands down the best Gunlance in the game. Straight up. Until you get the wide shelling level 4, which is going to come later with Kolf to Roth, this, in my opinion, is the best way to play Gunlance, okay? So that's why I did this build. Now, this build is going to bring in earplugs. A lot of people know that I like earplugs, but I like them specifically for Gunlance because it's a pretty complex combo that you're going to be doing with the Slam Burst, and therefore getting interrupted is going to throw you out of your rotation. It's going to be annoying. This way, you got earplugs, you can keep your combo going, and at the same time, I also wanted to add a couple of defensive options into the build, which is why you got not only earplugs, but you also got guard up level 3 and evade extender. Now, evade extender is also because this is not a very mobile weapon when you're talking about a Gunlance. It's extremely slow. So having that evade extender in there is going to make it easier for you guys to position to get the Slam Burst combo going. Then on top of that, you got guard 3, just in case the monster gives you a heavy attack. You're not going to flinch as much. You're going to be able to guard and basically maintain your position. Stand your ground. That's kind of like the purpose of it. Naturally, one of the most important skills of this build is going to be the artillery. And I know I have 3 artillery jewels. I realize not a lot of people have them. Although I did see a lot of you guys out there on PC land tell me, oh, Rurikhan, I'm on PC, I got like 4 artillery jewels. And I'm like, great. So if you guys do have the artillery jewels, this is the way that I would do it, because attack jewels are a lot more rare than artillery jewels. If, on the other hand, you do not have artillery jewels, swap the attack charm for an artillery charm instead, and, you know, just replace the other decorations for something that's useful for you. Maybe vitality boost, if that's something that you want, or whatever you prefer. In terms of augments for the Royal Burst, I would go with health regen and potentially affinity, but that's just my personal take on this particular weapon. That's the way that I would play it. So in all honesty, you can play it in a lot of different ways. You don't even need the attack boost or the weakness exploit if you don't want. It's just, to me, the Slam Burst is a combination of physical damage and artillery damage. It's not just about the shelling. So this is how I would do it. The other thing is, if you do not have a magazine jewel, I would go for the Dodo Gamma Greaves, and you're going to lose out on evade extender, but I think magazine or capacity boost is more important than evade extender. So there you go. That would be what I would do for a Gunlance if you are just if you're still on the PC and you don't have access to the fancy armor sets that we currently have on the consoles. Moving on the Switch Axe build, I'm going to be focusing on the Axe of Demons, which is hands down one of the best weapons that you will have available to you on the PC, specifically if you're going for straight up damage. And if you're going to go for straight up damage, you're going to be talking about trying to get your weapon into white sharpness. Therefore, you're going to want a significant amount of handicraft, which is why I'm rocking the handicraft charm coupled together with the Kushala System Beta, which is going to give you maximum handicraft. I'm also trying to squeeze in as much attack boost as I possibly can, which is why you got the Nergigante Helm Alpha in there. You got the Nergigante Coiled Beta, and then we still put in 2 attack jewels. Now, you might not have 2 attack jewels, just put 1 in there. That's fine, and in place of the other attack jewel, I would go for another expert jewel. We're also going to be taking the Kaiser Vambrace's Alpha to get that weakness exploit, and we're going to be putting in a Tenderizer Jewel to really max out our chances of getting crits, because this weapon comes with a big amount of negative affinity, which is also why we're getting a little bit of maximum might in there as well. Unfortunately, we can't max out the maximum might. And then finally, I'm going to be taking in some evade extender on the build as well, because mobility with the switch axe, while it's not super hard to move around with the switch axe, I do feel that a lot of times the dodges just don't reach far away enough for me to actually dodge some of the monster attacks. I specifically feel this on the switch axe more so than most other weapons for some reason. Maybe if you have more practice, then maybe you don't need it and you can swap out those legs for something better. Like, I would probably recommend the Nergigante legs, because that way you can max out maximum might if you feel like you don't need the evade extender, and naturally get that non-elemental boost up in there, because essentially the weapon does not have an awakened element, and non-elemental boost is going to increase your attack significantly. And protective polish is going to be pretty important, because if we want to try and maintain that white sharpness on the weapon, you're going to need to sharpen often, and you want to reduce how many times you have to sharpen, so therefore the Sharp Jewel is going to help you out with that. This is what I would do to play with Switch Axe on the PC right now, okay? This is my personal pick. You guys might have a different, better pick, whatever. I'm just trying to give you guys what you asked for with a couple of PC-friendly builds. Moving onwards, we have the Charge Blade build, and in this build, we're going to be running with the Diablos Tyrannus 2, which is basically one of the hardest-hitting Charge Blades in the game, even in its current version. Like, the only version that is better than this Charge Blade, the only thing that really changes is that it adds a little bit more defense. So this is hands down like one of the best Charge Blades if all you really want to do is damage. Naturally, one of the most important things to have in this build is that artillery. I do have 3 artillery jewels. However, if you don't have them, you're going to have to sacrifice a couple of important skills, so keep that in mind. If you don't have them, make sure that you get the charm instead. You got to get the artillery charm, because artillery is super important in this build. Then you got the magazine jewel as well. If you don't have that, also very important, so get the Dodogama Greaves as opposed to the Dobert Greaves beta. You're going to be sacrificing a lot of things if you don't have these decorations, so I'm sorry. But in order to really optimize and try to get as much damage out of these builds, I need to use these decorations. Anyways, we got the Exploiter Charm with the Tenderizer Jewel there, getting us level 3 weakness exploit. And I know that a lot of Charge Blade players prefer maximum might, and that is fine. All you got to do is replace the Exploiter Charm with a Mighty Charm and the Tenderizer Jewel with a Mighty Jewel, and there you go. You got 3-piece maximum might as opposed to 3-piece weakness exploit. Okay, if you really prefer that maximum might, go ahead and go for that. I still prefer weakness exploit. You got level 3 focus, which is coming in with the Diablos narrow pieces, which is really good for Charge Blade in my opinion. I really like it. If you're a Charge Blade user and you've never used focus on your Charge Blade and you're just like, dude, I don't like focus, just try it out. Just try it out, see how much faster it is. I guarantee you're going to be like, oh man, focus is so good. But anyways, we also have the Diablos Mastery set bonus on this particular set. The reasoning behind that is because the Diablos Tyrannus 2's sharpness is not really all that great, so therefore the Bludgeoner is going to keep you from actually losing attack while you lose out that sharpness, and basically you don't have to worry about sharpening as often. Like, you can let this weapon's sharpness go all the way down to orange, and you're not going to notice that much of a difference on your files, which is pretty damn good. So you can basically beat the crap out of the monsters and not have to worry all that much about it, about the sharpening that is. And also the good thing is that these actually come with pieces that also give you focus. So in my opinion, it's a pretty decent set. Now, do keep in mind, if you guys look at these builds and you're like, oh, I could think of something better like with this thing or that thing or the other thing, ultimately, it's like, look, I'm purposefully gimping myself a little bit. I'm not using the full extent of the sets that I have available to me, so I might be missing something here. But these should still be pretty decent starting points for these 3 weapons. Again, like I said at the start of this video, if you guys want to see more of these PC-friendly builds, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to show these to all of your PC friends that are using these specific weapons. Thank you very much for watching. Comments and feedback in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit it with a like button. If you guys enjoy my usual videos, subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so that you're actually notified when I go live. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.